Hello there, this is that man, that's my merchandise, and this is a light novel. So yeah, hello and welcome to another episode where I kind of have a look and do a little review of these light novels and manga and what have you. This week we're going to be looking at So I'm a Spider, So What? By Okina Baba and illustrated by Tsukasa Kiru. And this is a fun little series that I've been reading on and off since Christmas. I say on and off because I've got 2 of the 3 volumes. I've read this one probably about 3 months ago. I've literally just finished volume 2 and I've just immediately bought volume 3 because it's getting good. So this is yet another reincarnated into another life, into another fantasy world thing. However, it's got a few little twists. First up, the most interesting one for me is that the main character is a girl called Natsume. And I can't remember what the surname is. Doesn't matter. She's called Natsume. It's very rarely that they even use the names. She is actually reincarnated, reborn as a spider. And she is the lowest of the low. And most of this volume is her getting to grips with her new body and discovering that she can level up, she can get skills, and she can fight monsters. Now there is a few twists, some of which we will look at more in volume 2, but one of the main things is said in the first page, so it's not a huge spoiler, is that while this focuses on Natsume, it also focuses on her class, which is pretty interesting, at least I felt anyway. Natsume is the main character, but from like every other chapter they'll go and they'll see, oh well, this character here, her like person she sat next to, he's actually the prince or the duke, and this other one is reborn from has been reborn into another monster, and this one is actually the teacher, and this one's like the school bully, and so and so. And I really like the way they've done it, because if you're getting a little bit bored of Natsume the spider, you can kind of go on to see what the class is doing. Now at this point in this one, the class is kind of like a little bit of a backstory. In volume 2, however, it's like literally it goes Natsume the spider, then it goes the class and Natsume, and it's like literally back and forth. So yeah, it does very well later on in making this world. I'm at the end of volume 2. I'm not going to see a huge amount into it. We're kind of starting to see a lot of different things getting built up and stuff like that, so I'm really enjoying it. But from what happens in this one, I'm going to focus on what happens with Natsume. So she is reborn as a spider, and she is actually reborn as a spider, as a child spider. All of these are reborn. It's none of this, oh well, I'm walking down the street and oh look, I'm now in the fantasy world like ReZero and a lot of the others. This is literally everybody got killed in this classroom and now they're being reborn into this fantasy world. And Natsume is reborn as a spider, as I keep saying, and so I'm a spider, so what? And she is reborn in a dungeon or labyrinth, and she has to figure out some kind of way of getting out. And yeah, it's very interesting. Now, if to liken it to something else, the narrative is very similar to that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and you will be it'll be very close, because the way I looked at it is that this was before reincarnated as a slime was released over here. I do have that for review as well, so this one is like, oh well, he was reincarnated as a slime. The slime's the lowest of the low. Reincarnated as a small spider, that is the lowest of the low. So yeah, I was really happy to see that. If you like that, you will get into it. And this is her trying her best just to survive. She's trying to find her new place in the world. And she starts taking on monsters. Now, I'm not going to get too in detail because I will cover Volume 2, but a lot of the stuff in Volume 2 I'll be covering that's in here as well, because the way I'm going to say it is that you probably haven't read this. Or if you have, you kind of know what's going on. So it's like she's fighting these monsters, she's getting more and more powerful, she's learning new skills. She starts off, I think she gets the appraisal skill, which she gets straight away, but apparently it's a very rare skill that only a few people can have. And I think one of the other main characters, one of the heroes, is got it as well. So yeah, she's got that, so she can identify. So she's like looking around, and she's like, so well, actually we'll do this. So it's like, instead of like, oh, this is a small girl as a thing, it'd be like girl, girl, girl. But then she upgrades it, so it's like, oh, cat girl, and she's like, oh, serval. So yeah, it's as her skills develop, we do see a kind of upgrade. She upgrades like stuff like her Fred, she upgrades her attacks, and it's really well done. I'm just going to try and see if I can find any of the pages where it does go and shows it. So yeah, every now and again we will see stuff like this, where it'll just have a stat screen for like one of the monsters. I'm just trying to find it where it... So there, this is like stuff like the analysis. So it will put out in bold, so it makes it a lot easier to see. You also get like a lot of stuff like the I said, so-and-so is upgraded to level 6, you can now use this, and it's really easy to read, it's really well done. Personally, I bought this in a whim. I was just like, oh well, I need something else for Christmas, I need something to throw in the Christmas box, and I was just like, oh, this is a light novel, I've not read it, but it looks pretty fun. I mean, so I'm a spider, so what? And I looked at the back, I was just like, oh yeah, this is quite a fun sounding thing, so I was just like, yeah, I'll try it, and honestly, I don't regret it. It's full of danger, it's one of those light novels that it's got many chapters, whereas like, a few others, like for example ReZero, this is an easy one because a lot of people I know have read ReZero. So ReZero, it'll just end and then it'll be like next chapter, and it's like the next chapter's on the same page, and it's like, yeah, this is like next chapter, but it always ends on a cliffhanger, or always ends on something to make you want to read more. Whereas ReZero, that ended, so it's like where you just go, well, I might come back to it some other time, but that's because that was a web novel as well. So, but yeah, it's a fun series. The illustrations are really nice. I'm going to see if I can find has this one. So yeah, the illustrations, they're pretty detailed. They're a little bit scruffy, but I like it. It's a nice, unique one. We don't even know what the main girl looks like in the light novel. In the manga, though, you do see what she kind of looks like. We don't even see much because she eventually she does stuff like evolve and stuff like that. So we don't get to see what some of her forms look like as well. So yeah, it's very interesting. I've really enjoyed it. Can I get that through enough? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you have a light novel, if you like light novels, if you like Reborn in the Other World, and like I said, if you like the slime, Reborn as a slime, you will enjoy this, and I personally will recommend it to anyone who wants a light novel read. Definitely worth reading. Yeah, great. That's it from me. Thanks for coming, and thanks again. Goodbye. Did you enjoy that? Well, we've got some other stuff on the site if you want to have a little bit of look. Nendoroids, gaming, One Piece merchandise, it's all kind of there. So if you click around here, you'll be able to subscribe or at least have a look on the channel. Also, there's some other things just around here. Thanks for coming and thanks again. Goodbye.